From Toronto, Phanta Media presents the Not So Corporate Podcast.
Welcome to the Not So Corporate Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Traeger. I'm joined here in the studio today with Leah Earl.
Howdy.
Howdy, Leah. How you doing?
Good.
How's Dirty Lisa doing, or whatever your other alter ego is?
I don't know anything about that.
Naughty Lisa. Has she been busy this week?
I don't know.
Whoa.
You'll have to ask her.
Whoa.
Okay, also joining us here in the studio is Roland Echevarria. Hey there, Roland.
Hi, Naughty Lisa.
Also joining us in the fourth seat is Kyle Wilson. Hey, Kyle.
Hey.
Kyle is our head of post-production. That was a very curt and brief introduction. Hey. Very efficient.
Yep.
He's our head of post-production here at Phanta, and we've brought him in today because a little bit later on, we are actually going to talk a bit about workflow and processes, and it sounds like it could be a not exciting conversation, but we're going to try and make it as exciting as possible. Because essentially, we got a great letter in from one of our listeners, Ben, and he asked us a few questions about processes and workflows and the best way to drive forward through a project, how to handle the clients at certain parts, what do you do with files, things like that. So hopefully we'll be able to talk about that in detail for Ben and anyone else who's interested in processes and workflows. Probably German people. I think they like workflows and processes, right? But before we do, let's do a quick catch-up.
Our entire German fan base is going to love this episode.
This is for the Germans.
We can be very efficient. Roland?
Yeah.
Do you have a China update?
No, not today.
I beat China every day.
Oh, yeah, Donald Trump beats China every day.
Okay, let's try that again. Roland, do you have a China update?
No, I don't.
I beat China.
You don't want to talk about the fact that...
I haven't seen it. I don't know what he said.
Mr. Trump is not a big fan of China.
The China update, apparently Mr. Trump doesn't like China. He beats them every day.
Good. Thank you for that China update.
So
he also said that the government there is so much better than the American.
He did say
efficient.
that. He said that they are. And, well,
it's a good way to become a president, talking crap about the people you're going to be working with.
Well, I mean, he doesn't like the Mexicans or the people from the Middle East or China or people from Japan or people from South America. Were there any other countries that he insulted? I can't recall. Anyway, so I had a quick question for you guys. Actually, I was thinking about this. I have a question. We're going to try something differently here. What is the craziest thing you guys have ever done and succeeded on simply because you were too foolish to realize how crazy it is?
Let's start with Naughty Lisa.
I know.
No, like, have you ever done something where you just were too foolish to think it wasn't possible, so you started doing it, and then you did it, and then later you look back on it and you're like, that was the craziest thing I've ever done? Like, have you guys ever done anything, like, really crazy, but just because you were too foolish to realize it was crazy?
I'm going to say no.
Good. That's great for podcast fodder. No, I'm just saying.
I ran a marathon.
So you ran a marathon?
And that's awful.
But did you realize, like, it was the type of thing where it's like only looking back on it, you realize that it was really foolish to have done so because you thought you could run a marathon?
The goal was to do it under 4 hours, and I did 2 of them, and I did them over 4 hours, and I thought I'd never get under. And then I just kept pushing.
And then you did.
I did.
That was a good story. Well, how long ago did you do that, though?
The hardest part is waking up in the morning.
2012.
Oh, so you haven't done it in a while.
No, I gave up.
The hardest thing for you to do is to wake up in the morning? Is that a reference to Seinfeld?
No, every day. It's hard.
Because in Seinfeld, one of the runners for the New York Marathon forgot to wake up because Kramer's hot tub blew a fuse or something, right?
Oh, my goodness.
Is that what happened? Or am I confusing the episodes with the Chinese people sleeping in his drawers?
No, he
what?
Who got stuck in there because
the power went out and he lost his alarm clock.
Yeah, his body was actually his alarm clock. That was a lot that happened in one episode, eh?
Moving on.
Yeah,
I feel like Roland is in a really depressed mood right now. When you're like all fired up, why are you being so quiet? Why don't you give us some more silly stuff to work with?
Coffee.
I put an order in.
Well, I could say going to Morocco by myself and not speaking Arabic or French.
What? How did that happen?
I just went.
No, like what? Like, so was it for business or what?
No, for pleasure.
And so, what made you think that you could go to Morocco? Like you?
Because I like the desert.
That's it.
No, I thought the people were cool. I thought the country was cool. So I was like, I want to check this out.
So you flew to Morocco alone?
Yeah.
And you didn't realize when you got there you wouldn't know any of the language?
I thought I could get by in a little bit of English, but you can't. you have to know at least a little bit of French.
That's funny.
And I had to figure that out when I was in the airport.
In Morocco.
Yeah, I was trying to get like a ticket to Casablanca, and I'd be like, un billet pour Casablanca, s'il vous plaît. And they'd be
Okay.
like,
I didn't know Casablanca was a real place. I thought it was a movie.
What?
Really?
it's a real place.
No, I'm serious. Until he just said that, I
Oh my
assumed it's a
God.
real place. But
I cannot be in the podcast anymore.
what?
I cannot be here anymore.
Why?
You don't know where Casablanca is? Have you seen the movie?
No, I've never seen the movie.
I could say,
Well,
okay,
Oh my
okay,
God.
I didn't know it was a place.
I have one more.
It's a place in the movie.
Oh, so
Leah,
the
can you
whole
talk to
movie,
the mic?
Yes, it's a place in the movie.
The
Can I
whole
just
movie
pause
is
for a
about a place?
second? What are your coffee orders?
Oh, right. Now I'm excited.
Is this like live still, or what's happening?
Yeah, we're live.
What would you like us? what would you-
Timmy break.
Wait, do you have
Oh.
a coffee order if we're live, but you have a different order if we're not live?
It's off the record.
Okay, hold on. I was in Michigan for the weekend, and we found a Tim Hortons.
Okay.
First of all, it was the
Terrible.
slowest Tim Hortons in the world, but
Their
we're
coffee's
there.
terrible over there.
It was the same coffee, same grounds.
No, it's not.
How do you
in
know?
Ann
How can
Arbor,
you be sure?
Because I have a dark roast every morning. I have a black dark roast every morning. I drink it black. I had a black dark roast down there. It tastes exactly the same. But my cousin was with me, and he walked up. He said, "Oh, I'll have a large regular."
They don't know
They
what
said,
it
"They
is.
said, great. What do you want in it?"
Yeah, they don't know what regular double is.
Well, double. They should know. I mean, it's part of the
No.
culture for Tim. They work at Tim Hortons. It should be
But
part of
that's
the
a
culture.
Canadian thing. That's not Tim Hortons culture.
But a
'Cause every time I
regular
go to the
coffee.
States, they go like, "Can I have a coffee, 1 cream, 1 sugar, or 2 creams, 2
That's
sugar?"
But the funny thing is, he said, "I'll have a large regular." She said, "Okay." What do you want in it?
regular
like a
coffee.
regular what?
Black coffee. That's what
Okay,
she-
so up here, a regular means 1 cream, 1 sugar, and a double is 2 creams, 2
And
sugars,
the triple.
and then a triple, or if you want homogenized milk, it's a triple homo, if you want to go that way. But which I think Oscar orders that, right?
Oscar
Yeah.
loves
Very
that.
Oscar does
popular
order
drink
this
fry.
triple home.
It's
The
all
triple
about the
homo.
homo.
So can we hold on?
That's good.
Okay, are we
Good
done
to
talking
know.
about the coffee, Kyle? So sorry. So you said you had one more other crazy
Oh,
things?
I dropped my phone in a toilet,
Okay,
I'll
good
do it.
story.
and
Yeah.
it
Wait,
did
hold
have-
on. Sorry.
It did have
clean
things in the
toilet,
toilet. No,
dirty toilet.
and I got it out because I wanted it back.
So that's something
And
that you
looking
did.
back, I realized I wondered how I ever did that. But
So
I did
you don't have any kids. So you've never had them go to the
Oh,
bathroom
yeah.
in the
No.
bathtub.
No.
You've never worked as a
I
plumber.
experienced this yesterday.
Yesterday,
You just have to reach in.
He took a huge
Yep.
poop in the sink, not the bathtub, the kitchen sink.
Why?
hold on. Why was he in the
Why was
sink
he
without a
saying?
There's
diaper
a lot
on?
of scenarios. Okay, first of all, we had spaghetti for lunch.
Are we talking about
That
babies
explains
already?
it.
And it was really messy. And so I didn't know how else to get him anywhere because it was all over
Washcloth.
him.
Washcloth.
Oh, I
Hose them.
attempted.
The poop or the spaghetti?
No, the spaghetti was
Okay.
everywhere. So I put him into our sink and took his diaper off, and he immediately pooped all over the sink.
Good.
There wasn't even really water in it yet. There was just poop.
But do you have one of those pressure things on your sink so you can just go to spray mode and just like dissolve it a bit?
Interesting story. I did not yesterday, but last night I had one installed, and now do have one.
Jono installed one.
John did not.
He's an MBA
My
though,
brother,
right?
he does.
NBA.
I think he could have
doesn't know how to
installed
use
it,
his
but
hands.
my brother-in-law came over and did it last night. Well, he didn't actually. He sent a guy who was like 20.
So
Oh no, I got one more though.
You gotta delete that. You gotta delete that.
You gotta delete
What?
all these other stories because this
About
one,
making beer.
This one, okay. Now that I'm warmed up, I know what I'm
Oh,
going to talk
shit.
about.
Okay.
You-
go for it. Go for it, Kyle.
When my wife and I were in San Diego, I needed to go to the bathroom at the sushi restaurant.
I feel like I'm not sure where
I know
this is
there's
going.
a lot of
but
potty humor, I know, but
are
it's
these?
good.
Are you sure you understand the question? Which is something that you've done that worked out really well.
It did work out really well.
Okay, go for it.
Okay,
felt
so I
great
had to go to the bathroom to get something out of my eye. And I really had to do
Okay.
that, and I'm
And so you pulled
and I'm
a.
really happy I did that.
So you
but-
pulled Train Spotting. And you just jumped straight into the toilet.
No, what happened was I
George
went
Michaels
in
was in the
and- 'cause
stall.
I had stuff in my eye, so I couldn't really see. And then I got to the sink at least, and I was starting to get it out. And I looked in the mirror, and I saw a man on the toilet because it was one of those like just
It was a single bathroom. So you walked into a bathroom that was unlocked. You run in.
yeah, but it gets better because I think he was homeless because he was just like convulsing, kind of like
that's
rocking
really
on the seat as I was picking this out of my eye, and I like stopped as I was looking at, and picking my eye, and I looked back and I'm like, I'm gonna finish this and then I'm gonna leave. I'm not gonna leave right now.
That's the story.
Perfect.
Yeah. And then I left, but he was still convulsing, and he was looking at me while.
I feel like you don't get the question.
No, I don't.
The question is, what is something that you've done What is something that you've done that worked out really well, and only looking back on it do you realize how foolish you were for believing you could do it at the time?
That's it?
I do kind of feel that way about getting this job. That
Getting
it
this
worked out
job?
really well, but at the time, looking back, I feel like it was really crazy for me to come in here and be like, yeah, I can totally do it. Do you have to cut this out?
No. Thanks.
And I was like, yeah, I'm going to be great
got
at this.
this.
Obviously, I know everything about everything. And you're like, you're going to have to use a new editing program. I'm like, no problem. I'm so good at programs and whatever.
I can memorize shortcuts easily.
Yeah, I'm so good at
And
that.
10 months later, you should have think the
I
same.
know like 5 of them. So I'm probably good to learn them all.
It's so funny because when people come in, they come in so confident for job
I know.
interviews.
You have to, though. For a
And-
job interview, you
Yeah,
have to.
you do.
Any
You
job
do.
interview,
And-
right?
But it's like it makes us not believe what anyone is saying. Like,
But what if you were honest? Like I was thinking about that the other day.
You
What-
were honest. You were too honest, Kyle. I almost didn't hire you because I showed you clips of stuff years ago, and I was like, "Could you do this?" And you looked at it and you went, "Yeah, I think I can do that." And I'd be like, "Okay, are you gonna like bring anything more to it? Are you
No.
gonna say you're gonna be like, you're like, no, I think I can do it." And as it turns out, you've been here for 4 years, so you're pretty capable, but you were downplayed everything.
No, I mean about skills. Like they're like, oh, how would you like? Are you what are you like in a team environment? Like, what if you were totally honest and you're like, well, I'm pretty self-centered and I don't play well with others and I'm not a team player and I get very irritable when I'm working with other people.
That
But
does
I'm a really
describe
good
you.
employee.
That does describe you.
Are we talking
pretty
about
well.
Kyle?
Would you hire somebody like that?
Are we talking about Kyle right now?
We are talking about Kyle apparently because that is Kyle. But well, I mean.
I don't know
Is
if you
it
can be
worse?
honest.
Yeah, but is it worse to lie about your personality than your skills, or is it worse to lie about your skills?
Well, there's
It's
a
worse
difference.
liability skills. I know people that do it. Like I know people that get people at other companies that are managers to like give them shout outs for references. Like, oh yeah, he totally knows about that.
Of introduction.
is lie about your.
TLDR.
What's that mean?
Too long, didn't read.
I've never heard of that.
It's on Reddit. I just signed up like yesterday. It's amazing.
You
Reddit?
you've just signed up to
Okay,
Reddit.
wait. I've never gone on Reddit. Should I do it?
Yes, you guys
Is
are
it
on
cool?
Reddit.
It's like they say. It's
It's the front page of the internet.
Yeah, there you go.
Wait.
Kyle, hold on. You just got on.
I
like,
just
but-
signed up and I
but you've-
posted something.
dude, you're gonna get ripped apart with your attitude. You're gonna get ripped apart on Reddit.
I am.
It's a positive community of
It's
positive
not.
people.
It can't be.
Roland, what do you want to talk about, buddy?
Oh, you
What
look
is
so
up with you
sad.
today?
Are you tired? Was your baby up all night?
He's like Eeyore right now.
I'm good.
I know this is only really a great thing when you stand up and you start punching the air and you're like, oh, I got the next question. Oh yeah,
The coffee's on the way. The coffee's on the way.
But I can't
I'm
ask
hooking you
questions
up.
this time around.
jump
Why?
in.
No, because Naughty Lisa last time said I asked him the questions.
I did?
Oh, so you are Naughty Lisa.
No, I mean,
Oh, comes out.
oh,
Okay, on that,
Not
segment
process.
one's done. Coming up next, we're going to talk about processes. Yay!
Processes.
so good.
That was
Why
pretty
is
good.
it Kyle?
Okay, guys. So we are going to talk about our process because we had a question from Ben, Ben Fama Jr. out of Arizona. He wrote us to basically ask the best way to go through our processes and workflows, how we work with the customers, how we work through pre-production, production, sales, what have you, all the way from the point of when the client or the prospect first contacts us, right up to the moment where we hand over the final deliverables.
So everything starts with a phone call. The client calls us. We pick up the phone. It's a Phanta Media.
That's not what we're
For
doing.
Roland, dial 118.
Yes, that's how we start.
Yes, we talked about Garnett Williams being on our podcast last week in episode 3. He does our voicemail, but no. What happens was so either people will contact us via the phone or they'll email us. We do
The
not
phone
have
or
a
the
form
email.
on our website. I know
not?
that a lot of so it's a debate that we've looked at and we've split tested forms or not forms.
I hate those things.
My point of view is that I want our website to share our personality. So why would I want to build up all this credibility and personality and everything to send someone to a cold form? So actually on our website, it actually has, Daniel's name, his personal name, his extension, his email. I know it opens us up to spam and all kinds of other crazy stuff, which it does, but that's worth it to me, because at the end of the day, I don't want someone to mechanically fill something out, because there's no part of our process that's mechanical. Everything's customized, everything's high touch. So right away, when someone wants to reach out to us, that's the very, very first thing. So they've sent us an email, they've phoned us up in some way, or we've gotten a referral, or we've met with them through networking, or they're a repeat client. That's the place where you always want to start. What's next, Roland?
The process, you can say, is all about, people come to us because we have good work, and our goal is to always not give them what they want or what they think they want, is to really understand their needs and try to help them come out with something that kind of that we can offer, something to them that is valuable and that is going to be, I don't know if unique, but that's going to be, it's going to work for them. And I think that's our goal, right? Our process.
That's the sales process.
Well, but that's the process throughout. So everything that we do is about trying to dig to the core of what the project is about. And so someone's reached out to us by phone or by email. We have to assess whether they have interest, whether we are going to align with them, whether they have budget, all of those things. Because really, something that Ben asked in his email was he wanted to know just the best way to avoid tire kickers. I think that's a big problem where people, right away they think, okay, I want a video. A lot of times people in companies, like people in our position as producers or business owners or salespeople, we're afraid to just ask the prospect the question, how much budget do you have? And, we play the song and dance with people. Will say, well, how much is it going to cost me? I don't know how much it's going to cost you because I don't know what you want yet or need yet. I can't make any recommendations. I can't make any suggestions. We can't hone in on anything. So there is this bit of a dance where you don't know if they're a tire kicker. So what we do on the first initial call when we're speaking to the person, we get them on the phone. We don't really work through email, so we get them on the phone, we book a meeting for half an hour, we explain our process, we explain who we are, we explain what we're going to do for them, we ask them questions about themselves, what their objectives are, what it is they're thinking about, why did they contact us. But we need to establish whether they have budget and whether they have interest in working with us and whether we have interest in working with them. We don't have to take every project that comes our way. You don't, as a business, you don't have to take every project that comes your way. It makes a lot of sense if you turn away the stuff that doesn't work for you. So really what you want to start with is establishing that thing. And the best way to do it is to say, how much budget do you have? And if the answer is, well, I don't really know, then, to be honest, that's a bit of a lie. Everybody knows they have a number in their head. Yeah. Because then you can say, well, do you want to spend $25,000? And if they go, hell no, I'm not going to spend $25,000. You go, okay, great. So it's less than $25,000. Are you going to spend $15,000? No, I'm not going to spend $15,000. What are you, crazy? No, I was thinking more like $3,000. Oh, okay, great. So we're working with a $3,000 budget. But if you say you're going to spend $25,000 and they go, yeah, we'd be comfortable in that range. Mm-hmm. Then you go, oh, okay. So now I've picked a number. It may be more. It may be 30. It may be 40. It may be 80. It might be 100. You're just picking a random number based off of anything. But just pick a number that, start high. Always start high. Because if you start it, we go, well, are you thinking $5,000? And really they were thinking 10 or 15 or 20 or 30. Then they go, either they think that you think too cheap or you're not capable of doing the project. So always, if you can peg a project based on the cost, that's great, but always start a little bit higher because that's going to actually get a gut reaction out of someone.
What if they come right in and say it?
The majority of the projects we work with do. And if someone says, I have $800 to work with, the type of projects we work on, not a problem at all. We can point them in the right direction. We can refer them to someone. We can make recommendations for students or for first-time filmmakers, or we can say, thank you very much. That's not our type of project. But really, the place we want to start with on the very first call is what were they thinking about? What type of company are they? Here's our process. Here's what we do. Here's what we bring to it. Are you open to that? Are you open to our process? And do you have budget? You have to establish a budget. Then after that, we have our sales process. I can go into detail explaining our sales process, but there's a lot of steps, and it's really customized around what we do, which is trying to get to the core of each project.
Can't they go to the website and learn about all the steps?
Can they come to our website?
Yeah.
They can, but we don't have.
It's easier to just listen to this.
No, they can't. Our steps aren't listed there.
Oh, okay. I thought the white papers had that kind of stuff.
Or our steps for the process?
Or top level steps? Or not really? I don't know.
Who are you asking? Whether the clients can come to it or whether Ben can go to it?
I
Ben.
guess Ben doesn't really want to do that. He wants to listen to this.
I hope so, Ben. I hope you want to listen to this. We will find you in
It's
Arizona.
hot in Arizona right now too.
Yes, we will find you. Anyway, so
Do we find it challenging? I mean, I guess we are fairly established as a company, but maybe for a smaller company, is it difficult to have the conversation with prospects, like getting in the seat and feeling like, this is how much things cost, this is what the process is? Because I find like maybe when I was a freelancer, and I don't want to go into freelancer, but when people approach me, I felt a little bit I needed the work, and so I kind of like looked the other way many times because I wanted to get stuff happening. So maybe for someone, I don't know what kind of company Ben has, if any, but maybe just jump in that, getting that jump from, really knowing your worth and just being able to be comfortable speaking about money with people. Maybe that's part of the process that maybe we kind of got rid of. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so just to answer your question about Ben, I mean, I checked out his website. He seems like he's newer but well established. So let's put him aside for a second. But to answer your question, I think that a lot of people are afraid to have very unemotional, clinical conversations. So in business, things cost what they cost. There's the value you add, but things cost what they cost based off of what you charge, what it's going to cost you, and the value that you're going to bring to the client. And either people can afford that or they can't. The answer isn't, though, will you work with me or won't you? It's not, do you have money to work with me or don't you? It's how much money do you have so we can come back to you with the very best recommendation to maximize the budget you have. I think too many people focus on what people can afford or not afford, when really the conversation is just, it's very clinical. It's, you have $20,000? Fantastic. What can we do within $20,000 to meet all your objectives and make it the very best it can? It's such a black and white thing. You want to add something? Great. We're at 22,000 now, or 25,000. You want to cut something? You've had a bad quarter. The client's budget's shifted. The project's dragged out. Okay, let's look at what elements we can cut. We have it down to 18.5 now. We have it down to 16. Whatever it is, it's very, very, very clinical, right? It's. I need to know if you're the right type of company for me. I need to know if I can help you. I need to know if you're willing to follow my process, because that's the other thing. We're not doing this your way. You're here to drive the project as the producer. And to drive the project, you have to know what the objectives are. You have to be able to make recommendations, and you have to know what the budget is. So really quick, though, what are the steps in the process? They reach out to us. We do an initial call for about 30 minutes. After the initial call, if we think we can move ahead, we then spend 90 minutes to 2 hours doing an analysis with them, a needs analysis where we look deep in within their business. We then go away and we'll usually come back with either a recommendation, or we'll have a follow-up meeting if it's more complicated, to have clarifying questions once we've spoken to our production team. If we've had clarifying questions, then we sit down with our team internally and we develop the creative concepts that we want to go back to them with. We then have a pitch session where we go back to them and we essentially bring them, we explain the different recommendations and the pros and cons to each recommendation. They then have potentially a follow-up meeting with us to clarify questions. They let us know what the clarifying questions are, and we answer those, and they let us know which creative concept we're going to go forward with. Once that's happened, we then put together a proposal. The proposal says everything we've discussed, everything we've agreed to. There's no surprises there. It's just basically laying out what was discussed at that date. They sign the proposal. That's a lot of steps, right? That's, that could take months. It's a lot of steps. But the alternative, if you don't do all of those steps, the alternative is give me some money and trust me that it'll work out. It's which is fine. If you're doing a $2,500 project, $5,000 project, you do not need to go through all those steps. I'm talking about when you're doing a higher end project. If you're doing something that is, in my mind, 30 plus, 30, 50, 75, 100, 150, you need to be following these steps, because if you don't, then you're asking them to just trust you at any point, and I don't think you're going to get the big project without it.
Well, I think also with the smaller budgets, if you don't put a plan, maybe you don't need to spend as much time as we do, but if it's a small project, you need to have some sort of parameters. So some people get into the trap that we're going to give the client what they want, what they need, and the clients are coming up with stuff.
What they want and need?
It's a black hole.
Well, they think they know better, and you're like, I'm here to serve you. Some people have that approach. but you can get into the circle of they want more and more, and you need to know when is enough, kind of thing.
Well, and the other thing we touched on with talking about Daniel about sales is really the sales process is this weird mix of, yes, you need to understand the technical requirements, but the last thing you want to do with a client is have a technical conversation. If you have a technical conversation in either the needs analysis, the initial phone call, the needs analysis, the proposal, at any step, if it's a technical conversation, these are the number of hours, these are the places we'll be, these are the talent we'll hire or cast or anything technical like that. If that's the framework of the conversation, it's a commodity. There's no reason for them to trust you or not trust you. There's no way for you to upsell. There's no way for you to think big and come up with a vision. There's no creativity. There's nothing within that framework of that conversation to have them go with you or go with someone else. So the last thing you want to do is talk about the technical, which is this tricky thing. So in this part of the process, in the sales part of the process, you want to be having a business conversation with them. And if you say, well, I don't understand anything about business, then just start talking to businesses, start talking to business owners, ask them what's important to them, read books, like learn business if you're in corporate video, learn marketing. That'll take you further than anything else. But the conversation at every step you're having with the client is about objectives. It's about target audience. It's about what it's going to do for them. It's about how it'll be used and distributed. It's about the framework at the highest level. Oh, we're going to do 2 videos and they're going to be awesome, but nothing technical. And then you're going to turn to your team, or you're going to sit down with a pad of paper and you're going to figure out, okay, on this vision, what are the technical elements I need to deliver this? If you're doing that yourself, just recognize that balance. Recognize that don't get caught up talking to the client about technical stuff. They don't care. Don't send them a quote in where you say, I'm going to have, a camera package with these lenses, and I'm renting you a tripod and a head. Like you're not a package. You're not a rental company. Our quotes, our proposals, literally do not have a pricing breakout. Now, if you're in the States, if you're worried about getting sued, or I don't know, if you need a contract that's very, very specific, then I would follow up the proposal with a service agreement that is very specific.
How is the client going to know what you're bringing? That you can, they're going to go with a checklist, like a high-end tripod. Okay, yeah,
I've seen that though, where we
5 lights instead of 4, great.
Well, and so that's the thing. It's like we've had one client in the last. When's the last time it happened? Other than this last time where it just happened in April, I can't remember the last time a client asked for a budget breakdown. And they asked for it only because we gave them a range. And they said, well, how do I justify that you're coming in at the high end? I said, listen, we're not here to take your money. You want to see every dollar we're spending? We'll give you our internal Excel spreadsheet, our internal budget with every single dollar. We will give that to you to prove where we're spending the money. And they said, okay. And we did, and it was fine. They wanted to know that we weren't wasting budget and trying to take their money from them for something that they're not getting. But the vast majority of clients just want to know that you're trustworthy and you're above the board and you have their best intentions in heart and you're adding value and you want them to succeed. And if they have a budget, $7,500 or $50,000 or $100,000, it doesn't matter. The specific budget breakdown doesn't matter. I mean, I've probably beaten this topic now, but it you
got to speak their language because they don't speak video. So
they don't speak anything technical.
No, they don't speak anything. They speak business. So if you package up your services in a way that they can understand it, it's better for your pitch or for you. Like you have a better chance of convincing them to go with you because you're trying to speak their language.
But it's so funny because we project our own worries. If I'm cheap, which I am, I think everyone is cheap, but everybody's not cheap. So I'll be busy trying to be cheap, and meanwhile, someone who's not cheap will say, why is this guy being so weird? And it's like, well, because I'm cheap and I'm trying to save you money. If I care about style, I'm going to think everyone cares about style. But there's a whole lot of people who don't give a shit about style, right? If you saw the way I was dressing right now, you'd realize I'm not really that good at style.
You should look at The Office.
Are we going to come back to The Office now?
The only time a breakdown of items that matters is, I guess, if you're servicing not a business or
like an event or something.
You're just like a service provider, like you're producing something for someone else. That's the only time it will
to another technical person. If we're renting a camera package, we want to know exactly what's there.
Yeah,
but that's a technical conversation.
Next.
So moving on from that, once you have the contract signed, I'm just moving it along. Once you have the contract signed, then you translate everything for your team into the technical about how you're going to get it done.
So, Roland, why don't you walk us through first pre-production meeting?
Sure, not a problem. We go in.
This is Roland client. This is client Roland now. Sure, not a problem. I'll totally help you.
Not a problem.
Meanwhile, why don't we have office Roland for a second?
No, I'm good. I'm good for now. I'm good.
You need a nickname, like.
No, I'm good.
Rolandito.
So what's the process? The process really become, we read the material. We make sure that we come up to speed, understand the business. It's very important to understand the business and the audience and what we're trying to communicate. Then we go into the meeting. We discuss what has been laid out during sales. But at this time, we can also kind of explore, because sometimes people say, I need this. This is what I want. But that's their, we're there to assess and offer up advice if we can. And there's something else that we think will work, we'll bring it up as long as it's within the budget. We'll try to do that. But really, it's an understanding game. To get comfortable with the client, to understand what we're trying to do, and work through logistics from that point on. The first meeting is really all about introducing myself, or whether it's me or Oscar, introducing the producer to the project, and start getting a sense of things. Because the sales guys already had a number of conversations. They're kind of breathing the project. Even if we read the document, you're still kind of outside of the.
Can I just say that's a really Roland thing? He says to everyone involved, you really have to breathe the project, and then he goes.
You have to have the flavor.
Oh, Shatter.
That's what happens with coffee. When you pull the beans, you put it in your mouth, you taste it, you smell it, and you spit it out.
Colombian Roland.
It's amazing. You gotta breathe.
When was the last time you were on a coffee bean plantation or farm or whatever the hell it's called?
That was in the country.
The whole country, Colombia?
Aren't those in the country as opposed to cities?
Well, but he grew up in a little town. Did you grow up near a coffee plantation?
My aunt has a farm. Yeah, everybody has coffee.
So your family grew coffee in Colombia?
No, not my family, but my aunt.
But you know enough of it in this context to go.
Yes, it's so good when you spray it on this asphalt and you just let it dry up. The air just smells like coffee.
Okay,
so good.
And you grab it, you toast it.
Thanks for that.
Okay, so you get.
And then you get like the old stockings and then you put it in the metal mesh and then you just run the coffee in the water.
Okay, so hold on. But one thing I wanted to ask you is so in the first pre-production meeting, what is the point of that meeting?
You show up and see what happens.
That's not true. Say
I have a company and I produce roller shades for pergolas. How do you?
I don't think we did a pre-production meeting for that project. Another great reference from the archives of Phanta Media.
Well, regardless, you're producing something. So the whole point of the meeting is just to really get to know the project, get to know the business needs, and getting to know the people.
But Mark and Daniel have already done that.
Yeah, but because I'm taking the business knowledge they provided with the business meeting and then translated that into sort of a technical thing without telling the client necessarily. Because at first I used to do that and they just stare at me like, what the hell are you talking about? Exactly. But nowadays I kind of like, not a problem. We're going to make it great. And if I internally had to... Circle back. But I internally had to okay, this is what we have to work with, and it's we start drawing the sandbox.
We're at step 2 of 100.
We're pretty pro. Come on,
we're on step 40 of 300.
And then naughty Lisa comes and makes them all happen.
I've never spoken to a client. I don't think.
It's funny because while Roland was talking a second ago, I reread his question, and we're going into so much more detail than the question was. The question was really I just wondered if there's a system you guys use to save time and to make the whole process better for your crew and client in pre-production, production, and post.
Next.
We're all over the place. So anyway, we're in production. Roland, you do pre-production. Pre-production is a number of emails, calls, meetings, whatever you need to do to get to a place where you're ready to go into production, essentially, right?
Pre-pro is taking whatever you guys sold to the actual event of capturing that in whichever form we decide to through pre-production. That's basically it. There's nothing else to talk about, really.
So then post-production.
Production?
That's production. Well, production, just go do it. Done.
Do it. Done.
But what if you're in production and I actually thought we could do this instead, maybe?
Well, the biggest challenge for production is you set up, you want certain things, and then you don't always get them the way you want them. Mm-hmm. Things might change. There are many factors in production that can affect the outcome. But really, what makes it work is you know that this could happen. You go with the best intentions to do the best work you can, but you also got to be quick on your feet because things are going to change on the fly.
Yeah,
things are going to happen, and you got to be able to react. still keeping in mind the main objective that you set out to accomplish, and whatever decision you make, whatever you do, has to go back to the end product. It's going to work, and it's going to work for the client. So that's really production, one of the biggest things, biggest challenges. Because sometimes you can put a plan, a shot list, or a production plan. This is going to do it. This is what I'm going to do. But it doesn't always work that way. And this is true to anything. Even if you're making a film or a commercial, things don't always work out the way you plan out. But that's why you try to plan as much as possible to either aim to get it, or if things go sideways, you have a way to catch it and then do something that's still gonna hit the main high level objective. And then so that's why sometimes when we go into post, things have shifted a little bit from sales through production to post, because it's an organic process, an organic thing that we created. It's not a cup of coffee that looks the same thing, it's, with the lid and the paper cup. So
Just another sweet.
some sugar and cream.
It's not a coffee cup in
Sorry.
a sandbox, okay?
and then so when we're in production, so basically is do that and be able to capture the stuff that we need.
Kyle, post-production? You're like the most process-driven person in the company, I think.
know, but
you never were but personality-wise, you never were. You've just been forced into it? Or are you
I
like...
disagree. I feel like when I started at the company, Kyle was like, this is the way we do things. Do it or die.
and then it kind of got a little relaxed, I think.
Oh,
Really?
don't tell me that.
Well, no, I think there's still processes, but we're not like if they aren't followed exactly, it's not like
You're going to die.
But data management, we follow to the T, right?
yeah, because you can't afford not to have your footage.
Can I add one thing to production?
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, you plan, you do a lot of stuff. Is what was my
And
point?
production
I
shits
forgot
the
my
bed, and then we fix it.
Well, I think if you add something to the data management part,
Sure.
one
All the
thing,
time, though.
if you have a bigger company, one thing that I think that our company does really well, probably because of Kyle put it in place, is we have a really organized file system so that more than one person can be working on the same project at the same time.
We have such a good file
Right.
system that you
Right.
can watch this great Adobe video that talks.
Yep. Everyone should go to Adobe and check that out,
No.
But
or our website actually.
But it's true, because if you
It's not on our
you're
website.
trying to do work really fast the way we're doing it, you might have a
Your
graphics
fingers are
guy.
literally bleeding.
And yeah, you have a graphics guy and an editor probably working on it, and maybe some companies have like a sound guy too, working on the same project at the same time.
Maybe some
We wouldn't
companies
really be able to do it without Creative Cloud.
Good plug for CC 2015, which has a morph cut. Which has a morph cut. Where's into the microphone, Leah?
There was a guy. He wrote a post about morph cut, and he said, "Do you realize the implications of this feature? Someone could be doing a deposition for a legal case, and someone could manipulate the footage to make them say whatever they want."
Yes, they could, as long as there's no Homer Simpson clock over their shoulder.
I was like, "Is that the first thing you think of from a new feature? How is that?"
I suppose
That guy's
so,
been
but
watching The Good Wife, and he's really serious.
I guess I don't know what to say to that.
Okay,
Anyway, walk me through post production.
We get the footage from roll. We copy it to 3 places, and like Leah said, we have a server, so multiple people can be working on a project at the same time. Usually, we get sort of like a handoff doc from the producer, and if we have any follow up questions, we ask those follow up questions, and then we kind of get down to the nitty gritty of doing the rough cut.
The internal rough cut, right?
Internal rough cut, yeah.
So we
have
always
to kinda,
start with an
yeah.
internal rough cut, and then we do an internal review.
Yeah. Then Roland sends it out. But then once Roland gets the feedback, it can go one of 2 ways. Because if we get...
Producers.
Oh, sorry. Producers. Yeah, we're talking about Phanta. All right. No, sorry.
There's another one.
Holy shit.
Did you forget about Oscar?
Whoops. What about Oscar?
It's like, what about Bob?
Maybe you were going to tell a different story after, like once Oscar gets the feedback.
Don't worry, we can take care of it.
Okay,
Do
so
a few
after the
things
rough
here.
cut, basically we take their feedback.
Well, it goes one of 2 ways. Because if it's one of those cases where we get a bunch of footage and they're just waiting for us to surprise them, we may surprise them, but they're like, I wasn't really thinking that. So it might be a redo. Hopefully it isn't, but sometimes it might be.
And now, real quick for you, like, how hard is it to get feedback when you're like emotionally invested? Like, when the type of feedback, like, it's it's just not there yet. And you're like, what do you mean it's not there yet? I just killed myself to do this rough cut, and I love it, and I love everything about it, and it's fantastic, and don't criticize me. And what do you want? You want to make it worse. Stop making it worse. And
I think sometimes, like,
how do you deal with that?
When I was younger, I would probably say, okay, well, whatever, and then just like go through the motions of it.
But now that you're just like approaching 30, you've matured, and
now it pisses you off?
No, now it doesn't piss me off. I'll be passive, but I'll be objective and just
Passive aggressive?
No, not passive aggressive. I'll just be like, okay, let's just rework it, and I don't get attached to it, but I also don't get, negative or jaded about it. But before I would have been like, okay, well, whatever. What do you want then?
And then the other thing that some producers fail to do is to realize that you don't have to do all feedback. So the feedback comes through to you. Look at each point. If it's easy to do, if it makes sense, if you agree with it, but if it's extremely challenging to do or impossible, if it doesn't make sense or you don't agree with it, then just talk it out with the client.
Don't just do it.
The same way that you want to have a really kind of calculated, kind of cold conversation around budget, right? It's just you're talking about budget with people. The same thing with feedback. No need to get emotional about it. They're giving you feedback. You don't understand the context. You don't understand who they showed it to. You don't know where the feedback's coming from unless you're sitting in front of them. You don't understand what's going through their mind, or the fact that someone from whatever the sales department is pressuring them to have certain things worked in or whatever. It's just let's go point by point. Let's talk about the things we can easily do. Let's talk about the things that are a bit of a challenge, but we want to talk out with them, and then the things that we simply cannot do based on budget, based on timelines, based on the fact it doesn't make sense.
And you can avoid a lot of the things that can go wrong when you're showing your rough cut if you've kind of referred back to those objectives you kind of established in sales and in the pre-pro.
The big change is there's a reason.
Every decision we take during production of post is going back to the objectives.
Yeah.
And if a client comes with something, like you said, we'll not challenge them, but we have a conversation. It's about having an open conversation with them, and then you're there to help them, but you're not there to take order. You're there to work with them to develop something. When the feedback comes in, I'll review it. If it makes sense, not just technical sense, but it doesn't make sense for the video, I'll say not a problem. I usually write back, say not a problem. These are the things that we're going to do. But most of the time I jump on the call. I say this, not a problem, easy, this. Why are we doing this? And then we start asking all those questions, because I don't want to just send something to Kyle and leave it to Kyle to interpret. We work with the client to do so. And my job is to be a producer and I do videos every day. So I come back with recommendations, say this is the things that we should do differently, or this is the reason why this is better. And based on your target audience, and based on this is how we do it. And then Kyle, you do the same thing, and when you make even when we edit it, we make decisions. We're like, it would be really cool to see this, but really based on target audience, when we should do something else,
doesn't make sense,
or what have you. So it's all about just being open with the client, talking to them. It's not about us just taking orders or us being, well, I know better than you. It's about just working through with them, and that's basically it. And at the end, we hope we would deliver the best project based on the collaboration that we have with them.
If you don't do it, you could fall down the rabbit hole pretty quick. Like if you're a smaller shop and you just say okay and you just do them, and then you know that there's problems with the feedback, but you do it anyway, and then they see the second cut and they're like, this isn't really working. But you know why it's not working, but you haven't said anything. It can just go on and on and on.
Well, and that's something that we've hit when, I'm thinking of one project in particular where it just came down to the music.
Yep.
And we went to 17 cuts, I think.
It was pretty bad.
And it was really just about...
I think I know.
Do you know the music? Anyway, so it was in front of...
He listens to it every day.
It wasn't Christian rock, was it?
Wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It was rock, that's all I know.
We licensed it from the music bed. It was a good song. But...
I was not.
But anyway, it came down to 17 cuts because it was literally trying to go through all the options with the client where they knew that they didn't quite know what they want, but they knew what they didn't want, and they would know what they want when they saw what they want, but they're not quite sure what they want. When you're in that situation, then sometimes, we fell in that trap too. We had, Roland and I had some very, very direct conversations with them, and it does have impact on budget, and we were very clear that it was getting to the point of being a bit silly, but at the same time, you got to do the work. Sometimes you just have to go to the 17th cut to make them happy, and then they, you got to do it with respect, but it definitely has, impact on budget and stuff.
And the specific client you're talking about too, didn't you have a relationship with them and other projects, so it makes it worth it to go to the 17th cut?
Well, I think it's worth it with any client.
Even your first project with them?
Yeah, because how are you going to turn that first project with the first client into your 10th project with that same client after 5 years?
I guess you're right.
You have to you cannot stop the project until the client is satisfied. But it has an impact on budget. It has an impact on timelines. That goes back to that cold conversation about things cost what they cost, right? When you're on we have a 3-cut process. If you're on cut 6, as long as you're driving forward, we're not actually going to change the budget. But if you're on cut 6 because the client decided to throw everything out and start again, or they had a change in scope, or they're not quite sure what they want, then it's very, very reasonable to say, listen, we've worked through all of our hours. We're not going to stop until you're satisfied. We're even willing to discount or willing to do whatever we need to do to make you happy. But the truth is that we're way over in hours. We've already given you an extra few days. We've already done all these things for you. So we're going to need you to help, meet us halfway, and you're going to have to increase the budget to cover off the rest of this. What client is going to say no?
I think that's where processes come into place too, because you have all these checkpoints along the way that the client can come back at the end, like, I was picturing something totally different, and you had to have those checkpoints along the way to make sure that you're driving the same road together.
See, it's funny though, because each one of those checkpoints adds time, but at the same time, it saves time. It adds time to the total length of delivering the project.
Saves time equals time.
Saves times equals time?
Yeah.
Did I blow your mind?
Yeah.
So
they're equal to each other.
No, but the thing is,
they cancel each other out.
What?
It will take a 4-week project and turn it into a 7-week project. But it doesn't mean you're going to be working on the project as much. It just means it takes longer to deliver. Do you understand what I'm saying? Each step will take longer to deliver, but your total hours spent on each step will go down because you're not redoing work. You're not guessing. You're not making it up as you go along. So really, Ben, I hope we helped you with that question. I know we didn't. We went into way more detail than you were probably even looking for.
Wait, can you summarize?
No more recap.
Summarize what? I was in the middle of a throw.
Okay.
What do you want me to summarize?
No more recaps.
To summarize.
No, summarize the processes that we have in place.
Let me leave the room then for that.
No. Okay. Anyway, coming up next, listener feedback. If you have a question or comment, we would love to hear from you. This is not supposed to be a one-way street. We'd love to interact. We would love to potentially bring people on in the 4th seat. If you have a question, if you have a comment, if you have a potential topic that you'd like us to cover, please drop us an email, feedback@notsocorporatepodcast.com. Listener feedback. Leah, you got a question?
Mine's lame, but okay. All right. Evan from Calgary would like to know, what are the top 5 things that make a video awesome? In your opinion, Phanta?
In our opinion, cats, babies, laughter, alcohol, explosions.
That's good. Kyle?
Oh, I don't know.
Top 5 things that make a video awesome.
Explosions. Did he already say
I already
that?
said explosions.
No, Kyle's saying his personal opinion. It could also be explosions.
Go.
That's hard. I don't know. I can't.
Top
I can't
5 things? Nudity. Kyle, for you, big nudity fan.
Nudity and like power tools.
Okay.
And
hold on, sorry.
The sight of plants growing.
I want to do my question again.
Okay,
go ahead. Go ahead with you. Finish off. I don't know. Paper
towels.
So is this a video that I'm making?
Paper towels? Are you just naming things you can see now? So
that's exactly right.
The only 2 things you can think of that aren't in this room are nudity and power tools.
No, I got a drill.
I have a 6 one.
I got a drill back
switch that does not have a wall plate on it.
I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
That adds to the ghetto-ness of this office.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Basically the wire.
Did you notice?
That's basically the wire.
Did you notice he added a dirty tire to this?
It's not a dirty tire. It's
a tire that's been used.
Would you call it a clean tire? Just asking.
It's off. You guys don't like NASCAR, do you? It's off of Jimmy Johnson's car, and it's a Goodyear Support Our Troops tire that was off of the number 48, the Lowe's.
That's good. It was for charity then.
Yes, great. I'm supporting our troops.
Okay.
Not our troops, but their troops, American troops.
Roland, what do you have to say about that?
China.
China update.
So,
the government.
I feel like we could guess what the
hold
top
on,
5
sorry.
things
So,
are.
quick question for you. Sorry, is the question top 5 things that we need to put in a video to make the video good, or things that I like in the video? Because
let me look at it it again.
Okay, so if the question is what I like in a video, it usually has to do with Russian dash cams.
No,
Oh, that's
okay.
amazing.
The question was top 5 things that make a video awesome.
Okay, so that's fine. So anything GoPro-ish, so like helmet cans on a motorcycle, people trying to snowmobile up the side of a mountain, Russian or American dash cams, as long as there's nothing gory violent. I'm not a huge fan of seeing that kind of stuff. But if that's the case, so that's number 1.
Gory
Okay.
violence.
No, not gory
Just
violence.
kidding. GoPro. Got it.
Okay, number 2 for me would be anything DIY home renovation related.
Nice.
So that's going to cover a whole gamut of stuff.
Yep. Power tools.
Non-violent fails. I'm a huge fan of people failing, as long as it's, again, non-violent or non-gory. So that's number 3. Number 4 would be British comedy. I like Jimmy Carr. Does anyone know who Jimmy? Do you know who Jimmy Carr is? Okay, well, Jimmy Carr makes for a good video. And number 5, explosions.
Yeah. That's cool.
You guys going to contribute to this at all, Leah?
Yeah, top 5. I
Top
think,
5 things to make a good video.
kids doing cute stuff.
Yeah, you're-
Kittens.
Yeah.
And kittens and cats, both of them together.
Explosions.
Definitely explosions. Zombies, if there's zombies in something. Lip syncing. I love lip syncing. I love
So,
it.
do you like that new lip syncs battle?
I love it.
Do you know what I'm talking about? That battle
Yeah.
thing, where people
With
where
LL?
stars lip sync,
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I know all about it.
and it's good.
It's amazing.
Oh, did you watch? The woman from Girls, the writer of Girls,
Lena Dunham?
Lena Dunham lip sync against Jimmy
Fallon? I have not seen that one yet.
No,
I don't go on a computer ever anymore.
A
like
computer?
I should. A computer.
Yeah, because
A
they have
computer?
radiation.
Because computers do, or Lena Dunham.
I would say
Radiation.
both, but in this case, it's not healthy for children to be around computers, so you shouldn't be
Okay,
around.
well, I just don't really go on a computer except
feel
for
better,
to, like,
Roland?
buy stuff.
Yes.
Okay, Roland. Top 5 things to make a video awesome for you.
Hire Phanta Media 5 times.
No, we're not. We're talking about web videos.
Any video, like
So-
what are the top
so
5
far,
things you?
We've all voted for explosions.
Everyone.
Explosions.
Yeah, sorry, you stepped out of the office for a second. So we all voted for explosions.
I love it.
What are 4 things that you like in a video to make them awesome? I feel like you'd be a big fan of guinea pigs.
Guinea pigs.
Kittens,
In a video?
right? Cats, kittens in a video.
Babies.
Babies, yeah. Everyone said that. That's except for Kyle, who said something bizarre.
Power tools.
Power tools,
tools.
cup.
If you have
mug.
crowds like doing the flash mobs,
Oh, that's
That
a
is
good
so
one.
stupid. Come on.
Flash mobs are
That-
terrible.
come on, you guys are terrible.
You know what else I really like? Music videos that have celebrities that have nothing to do with the band in them. I
Like
love
the
that.
new Madonna music video.
I've never seen that, but you know that Beastie
A
Boys one I'm
Madonna
talking
bitch.
about? I could watch that Beastie Boys video
There's a George
million
Michael's
times.
one too. With all the
Faith?
supermodels. No, not Faith. Is it Faith?
No, it's the one where he's in the bathroom, right?
No, that's the one that Kyle was talking about.
Yeah. I was in that bathroom. while
San
they shot the
Diego.
music video.
With George
Who
Michael.
are you?
No.
Oh yeah.
Okay, 2 more.
Turn my
I
headphones
think
up.
you always need a girl in the bikini.
Right?
Yeah.
That makes it like
Check.
sets
that
right away.
Who's that
Are these
bathing
music
suit
videos?
model? That,
I don't know.
Who's the
Okay.
bathing suit
Any
model?
video.
Kate Upton.
Kate Upton. So
I
you
follow
like,
her on Twitter or on
What?
Instagram.
you're almost like best friends.
No, I follow her on Instagram, and her posts are actually very entertaining.
Are they almost all just her in a bikini?
Yeah, but like making funny faces, or her and her boyfriend. I don't know.
Bug.
She was really she was like
Instagram's
the
weird.
I think she was the funniest part of that really terrible movie that she was in where
The Other Woman.
yes.
The Other
I
Woman.
think she was the
You don't
funniest
think
part of the
Amy
movie.
Mann was funny?
Which one's that one?
Not Cameron
funny.
Diaz.
Oh yeah, I like Not Cameron Diaz.
Yeah, the other woman.
I was a big fan of Not Cameron Diaz.
I like Amy Mann a lot. I thought that character was really kind of shitty for her, but I
am
really like her.
100%.
I'm so bad with names, so
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like
I'm
it's
pretty
that's
good with them.
like Leah Dunham.
You,
that her
yeah,
name?
you know what? You filled your head with like shortcuts for Final Cut Pro, and I filled mine with actresses' names.
Does anyone still cut on Final Cut?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, films.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be a great listener question.
I don't
Audience,
think so either.
text us or Facebook us and let us know if you guys still use Final Cut. I don't think anyone does anymore.
Wait, and
Wait,
why? Can you tell us why?
I still
Like a
cut-
version of it or just in general?
no, the newest one.
So I think we answered our question, and
Yeah.
we've posed a question.
Okay, guys, with that, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much, Kyle, for joining us in the 4th seat.
Thank you. It's been amazing.
Has it?
Yes.
Okay, good. Leah, Roland, thanks so much for joining us again.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh.
Okay, with that, everyone from Phanta Media, says, have a good day.
Grab a drink on a patio. It's summer.
Yes. That's what we say.
got work
Perfect
to do.
thing to do.
Okay.
Merry summer.
Let's get back to work. Okay,
work.
thanks, guys. Bye. We need a backup song now.
If it was Creed, it would have cost like $5.
You got staff with arms wide open.
He would have taken like double or anything.